All right, so my name's Adam, and I work for the company that creates the online homework that you're going to do for this class. Cengage is the company. SAM, Skills Assessment Manager, is the product that you're going to be using for this class. I'm going to walk through basically what this software does and how you interact with it and that sort of thing. All right. So what I want everybody to do is just go ahead, get to Desire to Learn, get to this class, okay? We're going to make sure everybody can get signed in here. So if you wouldn't mind just going ahead and going to Desire to Learn. What we're going to do this morning is a one-time process, okay? But this is going to make it easy for you going forward when you come into this course. So sign into this class in Desire to Learn, your online site. You'll select the course. And when you get to the course, click on Content. Now I want to point a couple of things out before we even start here. Click on Table of Contents, please. So in the table of contents for this, and let's scroll down just a little bit, you got some links and things that are put in there, getting started materials, syllabus, some other things that were put in there for you. When you get down to SAM, you're going to see a link that's kind of by itself, and it says SAM 2016. That is an overarching link to the software. Okay, so that's an overarching entry point to this software that you're going to use. At further places within your course, you're going to see specific links to specific things in SAM. So one way to get to SAM would be over this overarching link that you saw there. Another way to get to SAM items would be through a link directly to an activity in SAM, right? So that activity will open. But let's go ahead and click that SAM 2016 link. Go ahead and click that. Now, what's going to happen here is if you have pop-ups blocked in your browser, it's going to look like nothing occurred. So what you'll have to do is turn pop-ups off. Now, this actually came up because I guess pop-ups are allowed with this browser. We're currently in Internet Explorer, and I do want to say something about browsers while we're here. Personally, professionally, I use Google Chrome whenever possible. All right. My second browser of choice is Mozilla Firefox. I will go out of my way to not use Internet Explorer. Okay. There's several reasons for that. I'm sorry, Bill Gates, but the issue is that Internet Explorer does not play well with some online applications like Desire to Learn. Internet Explorer is either going away or becoming part of this new Edge program, this with Windows 10. It just has some real issues when using it. So if you can use Google Chrome, that's great. If you can use Firefox, that's great. I would stay away from Internet Explorer. If you're in Internet Explorer now, that's fine. Stay where you are. So, all right. If you have, everybody should see this that's on the screen right now. So it's asking to log in. You may not have a login with Cengage. If you do, then you can go ahead and put in your email address and your password. If you don't, if you've never had a Cengage Brain account, then you'll click Don't Have an Account at the bottom, at the center of the bottom of that window. You will click Don't Have an Account. And the account creation page will come up. Now, there are only a few pieces of information that you have to put in: your first name, your last name, your password, security question and answer. Should I unplug this to block it, or?
Yeah.
All right, because I don't want everybody to see your security stuff. Oh. All right. let me put this back on. It says account created. You have successfully created an account. And then hang on, don't do that yet. Oh, there it is. In Internet Explorer, it says the web page you are viewing is trying to close the tab. Go ahead and allow it. Say yes. This tab will close. This window will close, and you're back to where we started. This is where we started. Now log in with what you just created. So now you're going to put that email address in. You're going to put that password in. So when you're in Desire to Learn, you're going to see a link here. So this SAM link that we clicked, and if I click it, it's going to open up an overarching link to SAM. So this link just takes me into the calendar. I see stuff on the calendar. Okay. So let me explain what this calendar is, how it works. If anything's got a red circle, that means it's due. Assignment is due. If it has a black square, that means it is available. All right? So today's the 18th. On the 16th, 10 projects came online. Those are activities. I'll tell you about those in a minute. And 4 trainings came online. So that means they're available for you to go and do them. And then on the 3rd of June, I can't even believe it's June already. On the 3rd of June, 1 training is due. On the 6th of June, 1 project is due. And you can click and go there. So that's what this overarching link does. It takes you to the calendar, all right? It's going to tell you where things are, when things are due, when they're available, that sort of thing. Now, what I want to do is tell you about the types of activities that you are going to have in this class, all right? So there are 3 types of activities that you're going to have. One is a training. A training is going to train you on how to do specific things in a Microsoft application. One of the activities, or one of the things that you'll do, is an exam. An exam is exactly what it sounds like. So you're going to be answering questions. It's very similar to the trainings in that you will interact with the software in the same way. It'll ask you to do a specific task. You do the task, you click where you're supposed to, that sort of thing, and it will grade you. And then the third activity is a project. Now, a project is a little more involved. And the way a project works is you actually work in the application. So you're going to download a document, and then you're going to manipulate that document based on the instructions, and then you're going to upload the document back to SAM, and it will grade it. So for example, you may have a scenario where it says that you need to create a flyer for a car wash, or you need to manipulate an Excel spreadsheet for a bank, something along those lines. And it will give you the steps, the things that you have to do. You'll go through the steps. You will create the document, manipulate the document, upload it. It will grade it. When it comes to the trainings, the very first thing I told you about was the trainings, where it actually shows you how to do specific tasks. You have unlimited access to trainings. You can take them over and over again. When it comes to exams, you really only have one shot at exams, but do y'all have the 3? Do they get 3 chances on a... For every specific question you're asked on an exam, you get 3 tries. So you have two types of questions on an exam. She called one of them performance tasks. That's the part that looks like the training. That's the part where you're going to be given a simulated application environment. It'll look like Word, and then you're going to have to click somewhere or type somewhere or do something. That you give 3 chances on. If it's a multiple choice question or something along those lines that's not simulated, you get 1 shot at it on an exam. And then projects, you get 5 uploads per project. So you can upload your project. If you don't have the score that you want, you can redo it and upload it again. You can do that 5 times. Let's take a look and see what these things look like. So we have this activity calendar, but we also have an activity list. This is a list. It logged me out. Let me try again. This is a list of all the activities. So while the calendar basically showed you the dates and you can click on those things that things are available and do, this is just a running list of everything that you can do in this class. And at the top here you have everything checked. All exams are showing, all training showing, all projects, blah, blah, blah. These are toggles, so I can turn off everything that's always available. I can turn off readings. I can turn off SAMPath. I don't think you're going to have any of those. I can turn off all the projects, and I can just look at, if I turn off the trainings, I can just look at exams. I can just look at trainings. I can just look at trainings and projects. So let's start with a training. I want to show you what this looks like and how you interact with it. So I'm going to go ahead and click this. You get unlimited attempts, so I'm not taking anybody's attempt away. Are you logging in over there? Yeah, it's kicking me out while you log in. So let me, I'll give it back to you in just a minute, so you can watch. I was wondering what was going on with that. That was crazy. All right, so no, it's okay. Activity list. I wanted to look at just training, so I'm going to uncheck everything else. And these are the trainings. So the very first training, you get unlimited. So I'm not taking one of your attempts away since it's unlimited, but I do want to show what it looks like. You get some instructions. It's just going to tell you basically to read everything completely and so forth. So I'm going to click this. It's going to open in a new window. Now, this is the interface that you're going to have for all of the trainings. It is very simple to use. I'm going to go ahead and resize this to the full screen. So, this is not resizing for me. That's because we're... So, this is the interface. On the left-hand side, what you're going to see is an area that says task list. If you click that, it will show a list of all the tasks that are going to be asked of or going to be shown, demonstrated in this training. So it's going to show me how to do all of these things. Now I want to point out that in trainings and in exams, you can skip around. All right, you don't have to go from 1 to 2 to 3. You can go from 1 to 7 to 10 to 2. You can start wherever you want. You can go wherever you want. I think this is a valuable thing in exams. And the reason I think it's valuable is because I think that I would rather do the things that I know how to do first to build confidence and to move forward that way. Answer all the questions. So if I'm on an exam, I'm going to want to kind of skip around to the ones that I feel comfortable with. You can certainly do that. This is a task list. I'm going to close this. Now, every task, so this is task 1 of 15, and it tells me that right here over on the side, 1 of 15. It tells me up front what it is that I'm going to be doing. So in this task, it's going to say, this is how to sort a list of files. So that's what the task is. It gives me some information about it. It gives me some ways that this task can be completed. So using the mouse would be one way, the way that it shows. And it tells me basically how this task goes. So that's the intro, right? So we're going to have intro, observe, practice, and apply. Each of these is different, but they each show me the same thing. Intro just gives me the upfront information on this task. I'm going to click observe, and when I do, it's going to walk me through this task. It's going to do everything. It's going to tell me what it's doing. It's going to show me what it's doing. It's like watching a movie. I don't have to do anything. So I'm going to do observe.
In File Explorer, click the Size column heading.
Now, whether or not you can hear it, there's audio.
Windows sorts the files according to their size, from largest to smallest. The size indicates how much data the file contains.
So it just did that task. It just walked through it. It gave me the audio of what it was doing. It gave me call out areas. And now it's done. So that is the task. Now I've been in intro. That's where we started. I did observe, and the other two that we have are practice and apply. Each one of these takes away a little more help as we go along. So if I go to practice, it's going to do just like it did with observe, except I have to click. Now I have to click. It's not a movie anymore. I've got to interact.
In File Explorer, click the Size column heading.
So it tells me in File Explorer, click the Size column heading. It has the call out, it has the area in red, but I have to click there. Before, it did it on its own. So I'm going to click.
Windows sorts the files according to their size, from largest to smallest. The size indicates how much data the file contains.
And then when it's finished, it says practice complete. I've done intro, I've done observe, I just did practice, and now apply is the last thing I can do. Apply takes everything away and just says do this thing, right? That's all it says. It doesn't even say it, it just shows it. I read it. A little box is there and tells me what to do, and I have to do it. There are no call outs, there's no audio. This apply is going to be what an exam question looks like. So imagine that this were an exam, but I'm going to do apply. And all it says is sort the file list by size. It doesn't tell me how to do it. It doesn't tell me where to click. It doesn't tell me anything other than sort the file list by size. That's it. I click size, apply complete. After apply is done, it moves to the next task. Now, this next task is rename a file, and I kind of want to go through it a little bit with you. It's a little more complicated than what we just did. What we just did was a task where you had to click one area of the screen, and that was it. This one's a little more complicated because we're renaming a file. There's going to have to be typing on the keyboard, that sort of thing. So I do want to show you what that looks like. It's going to be the same. But I want to point this out. If I go back to task list, it's going to show that I completed that first task with a green check mark. Again, I can bounce around. I can go wherever I want. Or it will serve up the next one for me. Now, the other thing I want to point out is this. All you have to do to get through this and to get the grade for this is to do the apply piece. That's all you have to do. So you could come in on a task, it's going to come in on the intro, and you could go straight to apply. You could click apply and just to apply. If you don't know it and are having trouble, then you can go back to observe, back to practice, right? But if you're just trying to get through this and see what you know, you can go straight to apply. All right, you don't have to do observe and practice every time. but I want to do it. I'm going to show you. This one's more complicated.
In File Explorer, right-click the Glacier franchise owner's file.
It's telling you to right-click. It's going to right-click.
On the shortcut menu, click Rename.
Then you have to click Rename. Then you have to name it.
The file name is selected in File Explorer. Type Sales as the new name. Windows replaces the selected text with the text you typed. Press Enter. The file has a new name. Okay, that's a multi-step task, right? I have done observe. Now I can go to practice and apply. I'm going to go to practice because I want to show you what happens if you don't do the right things. In File Explorer,
so again, practice is going to, I have to do the clicking, I have to do the typing, whatever. So if I click somewhere else on here, it's not going to do anything. It's not going to move forward. It actually gives me 3 clicks and then I'm out. It says incorrect. So I have to right click.
On the shortcut menu,
I have to click Rename. I have to type in.
The file name is selected in File Explorer. Type Sales as the new name.
Sales.
Press Enter.
Enter. File has a new name.
Has a new name.
And now I can go to Apply from here. Apply is the one that really counts. I can do Apply. So this is how a training works. It's going to walk you step by step through these tasks. The apply piece at the end, you can go straight to it if you want. It's going to look more like the exam than anything else, like the exam questions. All right? Now, that is training. If we look at exams, they're going to look, and I'm not going to click on them because you only have, I don't want to take the attempt of an exam away. But exams are going to look like the apply did in that practice. It's going to tell you to do something, you're going to do it. But the thing I want to really point out here are the projects. These are the most complicated piece of what you're going to do, and you have more of them than anything else in here. These projects require you to use the application itself. So you're going to have to use Word, you're going to have to use Excel, PowerPoint, or whatever. When you do these projects, there are things that you have to download and manipulate and upload. So let's take a look. Now I'm going to click on this one that's Word Module 1 Practice Project. I'm going to click this. I'm not going to take one of your attempts away, by the way. But I do want to take a look at how this works for you. So the maximum number of submissions you get is 5. Now, I'm going to click Start, and here are the instructions. I have download instructions. If I click any of these button areas, I'm going to download the instructions. I'm going to download a starting file that I have to manipulate. This has another file that's an image because this is a flyer and I have to use an image. And I don't have to, it's not going to make me go to Google and find an image. It's going to give me everything I need to complete this right here. And then when that's done, I'm going to upload my file, browse my hard drive. When I'm finished manipulating it and whatever, and I want to upload it, I'm going to browse, upload, and that's how I'm going to submit for this project. So let's take a look at these instructions. I'm going to download the instructions. Let me just open them. Now this is very important, guys. This is I'm going to address the #1 reason why you would try to upload a project document and it would not go. So let's say you're trying to upload your project document and it won't take it. This is the #1 reason why. And that is because the very first thing you have to do for any project, it doesn't matter if it's Word, Excel, whatever, it doesn't matter. The very first thing it's going to tell you is to open the file, which I did, or no, I'm in the instructions. I'm going to open the file. It has your name embedded in the file. So where it says right here, open the file, blah, 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 first name, last name. First name, last name is your name. First name, last name. _1 .docx. I'm going to download that file. It's going to give it to me. But I have to rename the file before I upload it. If I don't rename the file, it will not accept the upload. And the only thing I have to do is change that 1 to a 2. That's all. That's all you have to do. But if you don't do it, it won't take your file. There's a reason why we do this, and it's because people used to just download the file and upload it again without doing anything to it. So we said, okay, we're going to make you interact with this file. And for whatever reason, that cut out the problem. So let me go download this starting document. So here it is, and it has your name in here. So this has her name in it. Yours will have your name in it. So I'm going to click this. I'm going to save this. I want to save it to the hard drive or the desktop. And I'm going to go ahead and download this image, this part of this. I'm going to save it to the desktop. So now I have all the documents I need to do this. Here are the instructions. We're going to come back to this in a second. Now, this is that file that has your name in it. That's the one you have to change the 1 to a 2. I want to point something out. It says here, open the file, blah, 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 _1 .docx, save as, same blah, 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 _2. Save it as, change the 1 to a 2 .docx. Do not type .docx at the end. Just change the 1 to a 2, that's it. Forget about the .docx. That's just the type of file that it is. It's just telling you that. If you rename the file, change the 1 to a 2 and put .docx after the 2, you have just renamed your file to have a .docx at the end of the title of the name of the file, and it will not upload. So, a couple of ways you can do this. The first way would be to just click in here and backspace the 1 and make it a 2. Now, that will upload. Let me change it back because I want to show you the other way. This is the way they tell you to do it. I guess you should really do it the way they tell you. So this is what it was. It had a 1 in it. It says to open the file. I'm going to enable editing. And then it says to save it with the 2. So I'm going to go File, Save As, Computer, Desktop, change the 1 to a 2. Now you notice it doesn't say .docx at the end, and you're not going to put .docx at the end. You do not do that. 1, 2. Save. So I have just changed the file name to have a 2 at the end. It will accept this as an upload. Now, this is the starting document. This is this flyer that we have to manipulate for the project. I'm going to hold right here. I want to go back to the directions, the instructions. All right, so we did the file thing. We changed the 1 to a 2. Every project's going to have you do that. Then it gives you project steps. So here are the project steps. Step 1. And all of these have a scenario with them, like this. You are helping to coordinate an audition for a local community theater and are creating a flyer for the event. Begin by changing the document theme colors to green. So the very first step in this process is to change the theme colors to green. So you'll actually do that. Step number 2. Make the picture of the umbrellas more eye-catching as follows. Resize the picture to a 2.1 inch to 2.1 inches tall. Apply the compound frame black picture style. Blah, blah, blah. Apply the green, whatever, accent color 1. glow picture effect. So you have to do 3 things to the picture. The picture is step number 2, and it's the umbrella picture. You have to do 3 things. And then step 3 and 4 and so on. So you have all these steps, right? So you're going to do these things. At the very end of this, it shows you what the document is supposed to end up looking like. This is what it's supposed to look like when we're done. You saw what it looked like when we opened it, and it did not look like this. So all the manipulations that you're going to do for this project will make this document look like this. Now, this is not something where you can copy and paste this into your document. And I want to talk about copy and paste in just a minute. This is an image. If I tried to grab this, it won't grab. It's an image. But it does show you what your project is supposed to end up looking like. Okay, so we've downloaded this file. It's got I'm a student. I've downloaded this file. It's got my name in it. I'm supposed to manipulate it. So I do that. And my buddy John over here, I give it to him. I say, hey man, you can use mine. Here. I did it already. You know, you just give me back the next time, whatever. So John takes my file and replaces the file name with his name in it and uploads it. Yeah, it's not going to take. And the reason it's not going to take, you'll be called out as having cheated. You'll be called out as cheating on the project. The deal is this. All these documents that you download and that you have to upload again, your name is embedded in there all over the place. Places you don't even see it. It ties to you in all kinds of different ways. There's a number assigned, your name's in there. There's software engineers who work on cheating. And you just can't do it. There's just no way. You cannot beat this system. Don't even try to do it. I'm doing you a favor by telling you this. I shouldn't have to tell you this, but I'm going to tell you. Don't do it. Do your own work. Upload your own file. Even if I were to give my document to John and say, don't upload this, don't change the name, just copy and paste what's in there. No, that'll show as well. Do your own work. Use your own files. That's my gift to you right now. So there's that. So we looked at a project, we changed the 1 to a 2, told you about security. So what I want to do now is tell you about some other stuff here. See, that was the original document. Tell you about some other stuff here in this program. And I'm going to cancel out of this, but I could browse and I could upload this file. I'm not going to do it, but I could upload this where I changed the 1 to a 2, and it will grade it automatically, and it will check for cheating. I'm going to cancel out of that. So that's the project. We saw the training, we saw the project. You know the exam looks like the apply on the training. I'm going to get out of this for right now. I want to go, you will only go to this through Desire to Learn. I'm actually going to get in, I have a demo account in another place that you'll never go to, but I'll be able to show you some stuff. So I've got this account. I'm going to go to my student view. It's going to look a whole lot like yours. It's got my calendar and everything. Couple of areas I want to alert you to. You've seen the calendar. You saw the activity list. You have reports here. This reports tab, this is really neat. So when you upload your document for your project, it's actually going to give you something back that you can download and take a look at how you did. So I have this project here that I uploaded, And if I look over here, there are a couple things. There's a report and there's a study guide. I want to look at this report. This is going to show me basically every step and how I did. So for this project, in the very first step, there were 5 parts to step 1, and I got them all right. So I got 8 out of 8 for the very first one. It tells me right here. For number 2, I got 8 out of 8 as well. Change the font style. But it tells me for every step how I did on this document. And then it gives me comments from the grading engine at every little step at the bottom. Okay? So you get a lot of feedback here. Now this is what a Word document would look like. I want to show you what an Excel project would look like, the report on it. It's involved as well. So I'm going to open this one up. I'm going to enable editing on this. Just like the Word, this was an Excel project where I had to upload, and it tells me exactly the step and whether or not I got it right. But what I want to point out with this is at the bottom here, you have tabs. So if I look at documentation, I can actually go through and take a look at the document that I submitted, and it'll tell me every little place where there were grading errors. See? So you're going to get a lot of feedback from these projects, all right? And the deal is you get to upload 5 times, and you get all this feedback, so you should be able to make 100. I mean, you know, 5 uploads. By the 3rd, you ought to be able to get a 95 at least, right? So anyway, there's that. The other thing is, I said you get a study guide as well, so you will get these study guides. So, and especially this, I think, is great for exams. You'll get them too. So in this exam, there's a study guide. So if I click this, it will tell me how I did on every question, every task. Basically, it'll say, I didn't even look at it at this task. It said not presented. It didn't even show it to me. I skipped this one. I saw it and I skipped it. I got this one right. If I got one wrong, it would show that. But it gives you these training links over here on the right. This is the main thing. So it tells me what the task was, the result, my input, and then if I click training, it's going to take me right to that training for that. And this looks a little bit different because it's an older version of our training, but it'll take you right back to that training where you can do observe, practice, apply for that task. So that's your reports. Any questions so far? All right. So the other thing I want to show you is you have a study center right here. This study center is just kind of a place for you to play around in. It's going to give you some good information, some good stuff. So we have these tutorials, we have self-quizzes, we have flashcards. You can go through the tutorials. You can go through, you can say whether or not you know it. You can go through self-quizzing on these things. So this is which button would you use to choose a numbering style for a numbered list. And if you get it wrong, it'll give you an X. And then it'll let you go until you get it right. And then we have flashcards as well. So you can click the flashcard, it'll flip over, you can go to the next one. So we have those as well. So this is kind of just an area for you to practice around in. So that is SAM. That's what you're going to be using.